Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Shelby County Candidates Forum for the June 4th primary. We have two races taking place at the county level, one for the auditor's office, where we have two candidates for the one position, and then we have three candidates for two positions on the Board of Supervisors. Unfortunately, one of our auditor candidates could not be here tonight, so I'm just going to let Taryn introduce herself, kind of talk about what she has going on, her background, her experience. We did have two questions submitted from the public for the auditor's office, so I just handed those to her and told her to make sure she includes those two questions in her presentation. So with that, I'll turn it over to Taryn.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss my qualifications for Shelby County Auditor with you guys tonight. First, I'll tell a little bit about myself. My parents are Kevin Kanan and Sandy Bush. My grandparents are Virgil and Marianne Kanan and Walton Doris Schneider. My husband Brian and I and our 4 girls live in Portsmouth. I grew up in Shelby County, attended the Catholic school and the public school. Enjoyed doing outdoor activities, walking in nature, anything outside. Softball season is my favorite season, so currently full swing in that. I've got 3 girls in softball, so we'll be pretty busy with games. I've been employed at the auditor's office for a little over 8 years. I started out just doing real estate transfers and parcel maintenance on the map. Since then, I've taken over the county valuations, taxable valuations, the tax billing, which is then presented to the treasurer to be filled out. I recently took over budget director for the county, so this was my first year working on the county budget, getting all together with the department heads, board of supervisors, getting their budgets, compiling that into scenarios for the board to approve. I also work for the assessor's office and do a little bit of planning and zoning, construction applications. I help maintain the assessed value data in the appraisal software, the credits and exemptions for both the auditor's and assessor's office. I also work elections. So I do a lot of the behind the scenes and on election day, getting equipment ready, ballots ready, the laptops, doing the worker trainings. So that takes a lot of work beforehand. We usually start about 2 months ahead of time. And attending classes to maintain all the current certifications and the laws and regulations that we have to follow. I'm going to go into one of the questions. How do you stay organized and make effective decisions when faced with multiple duties and tasks? So my assessor boss, Tony, always likes to give me help me because I have multiple colored pencils and highlighters and pens and many binders. If you look at my personal calendar, everything is color-coded by kid. So staying organized is fun for me. So I like to color-code everything and keep it in the binders. Every task I do, process, has a binder, has the notes in it, color-coded, tabs, everything. So that one is fun and easy for me. What important skills do you believe an excellent auditor should possess? I think the auditor's office is almost a central office for the courthouse. There's a lot that goes on there. Payroll, claims, the health insurance, and then you've got the taxes, valuations, the real estate transfers. So I think being able to understand all those processes and timelines and be able to prioritize what needs done Good communication is another key. I think elections is a big thing. In this process, I feel like voters aren't informed as much as they should be. I think informing the citizens on the voting process, what goes on during the process is important. Election day is not just one day. I mean, there's a lot that leads up to it, and then my favorite question is the day after. So are you glad it's over? Well, it's over for you, but we have about 2 weeks more of things to do. So just educating the public on what the processes are and what all goes into that. Just to recap, I feel I'm the best candidate for Shelby County Auditor. I've worked hard over the last 8 years to educate myself on the processes and procedures needed to run an efficient office. It does take a lot. It's not, I mean, you could walk in off the street and do it, but having the knowledge to start out is helpful. It'll make it's a seamless transition. I have a lot of the duties already, even ones, auditor duties, I may do them, but then it's approved or signed out by the auditor. Not afraid of a challenge. I love when people come and say, hey, what do you think, or can you help me with this? The legal descriptions portion of it, I don't know why I love it. I love reading legal descriptions, drawing them out, splitting the properties, that's fun for me. I'm passionate about my work and detail-oriented.
All right, thank you, Tara. Appreciate it. And we'll bring our supervisor candidate. Okay, so please welcome our Shelby County Supervisor candidates, Alexis Carter, Mike Colby, and our incumbent, Charlie Parkhurst. Each candidate will now have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and describe why they are seeking this position. We'll start with Charlie.
Of course. I'm Charlie Parkhurst. I'm a Republican runner for county supervisor. I've been your supervisor the past 12 years, so I have gained some experience. I've always wanted to keep taxes down, do my best to improve the roads and bridges in Shelby County, and I know everybody out in the country would like that too. Okay, just a little bit about myself, in case you don't know who I am or who I've been in the past. I was born here in Harlan, attended grade school here until my mother passed away unexpectedly. My father was unable to raise 5 children, including a toddler on his own, so he placed us in the Elam Children's Home in Elkhorn, Iowa, where I attended school. I enjoyed my days playing sports, especially football, being part of the team at the Elkhorn School. When the children's home closed, I stayed with Ted and Thelma Lang so I could finish high school in Elkhorn. During my high school years, I worked for many farmers in the area, so I understand the farmer's life. After graduation, I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. I went to school and received an associate's degree in jet mechanics. I'm a combat veteran, 2 tours in Vietnam. After being honorably discharged from the Air Force, I went to work for Land O'Lakes as production supervisor for overseeing workforce of 26 employees. During my employment at the Land O'Lakes, I attended management school through the University of Minnesota, where I earned an associate's degree in business management. I continued my employment in Oakland while I was residing in Harlan for 16 years when the plant closed. After closing the plant, I worked for Plum Hybrids for a year before an opening came at Shelby County Courthouse. I was hired as building and ground supervisor, but wore many hats at the courthouse, including assistant EMA manager, safety coordinator, ADA coordinator. I retired from Shelby County in 2010 after 25 years of service. I was married to the late Beverly Burkowski Parkhurst, who passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2001. We raised two sons, both of them are graduated from Harlan High School, Todd and Tyler. Tyler's retired from the U.S. Army after 20 years. I have three grandchildren, Jackson, Grace, and Caitlin. Caitlin just graduated from Iowa State with a bachelor's degree as an engineer. In 2012, a fellow Republican group approached me to run for supervisor, and I was elected to represent Shelby County in all aspects of the position. In addition to our bi-monthly meetings, each supervisor is on various boards and committees as representatives of Shelby County at both local and state levels, around 30 in all, divided between the three of us. During my past and present terms, I served with the following boards: Harrison, Monona, Shelby County Empowerment Area, Southwest Iowa Policy Council to the Midlands, Southwest Iowa Transit Authority Commission, West Central Development Board. I'm the chairman of West Central and of MAPA, Hungry Canyons Alliance, Metropolitan Area Planning Association, Los Hills Development Conservation Authority, Safety Wellness Committee, Golden Hills Resources in Nishnabotna Water Coalition. Many days per month are spent traveling to meetings where we use these resources to meet and learn and network with other county officials. During my appointment, I saw the COVID pandemic and had to work diligently to ensure safety for the employees and visitors to local, county, and private-owned entities. In relationship to the pandemic, Shelby County was allocated funds for the American Rescue Plan, and we became the issuing agent to applicants who awarded these funds. During my years working for Shelby County and employed after election, I have had the pleasure of working with 4 men elected sheriff in Shelby County. We're fortunate to have such leadership and representatives in our county, and I fully support the union of the Harlan Police Department with Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Our present sheriff, Neil Gross, is a strong leader and has accomplished the union of the departments quite effectively. When the current ambulance service gave notice that they would be done providing contracted service sooner than planned, the supervisors were part of the team initiating the vote on the ballot to approve funds and to be appropriated for the need to secure the new EMA ambulance service for our county. Most recently, we were given the task of hiring a new county engineer, and I believe that we have succeeded in hiring the right person for that position. He's been working alongside county officials to see that we maintain the standard acceptable to Shelby County pertaining to secondary roads and bridges, as well as other facets of the position. I have 12 years of experience as your supervisor, and I'm asking for your vote June 4th.
Thanks, Charlie. Alexis, go ahead and take up to 5 minutes if you need that much time.
partner, and we have 3 children together. 1 is here with us, and 2 are doing sports. I was originally born and raised in Indiana, where while I was growing up, I worked for the assessor and trustee as my parents were the assessor and trustee. And the assessor's office, we did evaluations, and then in the trustee's office, I aided with the budget of the township, the rec, fire, and the financial assistance program. After graduating, after graduating high school, I enlisted in the Air Force and was stationed in Colorado Springs. I was placed towards the end of my 4 years, I was placed in the head of a deployment program that had a 20% compliant rating, and as I worked through that, we got that program up to 90% compliant. And then after I got out of the military, I married my husband Tony, and while married, I did move back to Indiana and finish my degree at Indiana University. But as I finished up my degree, I continued to work for my mother, who was continued to be the assessor trustee. And then after I finished my degree, I moved to Harlan full time, and where we started our family. And now I work for my husband. We have a roofing company and a rental company, and I help with the budget and managing the office. I do believe that our community deserves a strong leader and leadership and a vision for the future that prioritizes all of the residents of Shelby County, as I have loved raising my children here, and I want to continue to have our children grow up here, and hopefully when they grow up, bring their children back here and raise them here. And I would love your vote on the 4th of June as well.
Okay, Mike?
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Colby, and just going to be real brief for this introduction because I know some of our experiences and things will be covered later. So a real brief background and 2 very important decisions I made in my life to bring me to this point. First, after I graduated from out of state with a journalism degree, I moved to Harlan and began my newspaper career here. And it was through those relationships with the newspaper that I met many, many awesome people throughout the county, either handling their advertising or interviewing them for stories. So that was my first good decision, was to move here. And that was back in 1983. The second best decision I ever made was marrying Tammy Cole, who lived here in Harlan. We met out at Prairie Rose Lake, and I impressively took her on the first date to Shelby Fun Days. I was playing softball there. So a couple of years later, we got married in Irwin, and I definitely married up when I married her 39 years ago. And she's here tonight, so I hope that's the right number. So those were the 2 best decisions I ever made, and now I've been here 41 years in Shelby County, and my roots are firmly planted here. We have 3 wonderful grown children, and they and their families live in Charter Oak, Des Moines, and San Antonio, Texas. I'm here tonight because I want to continue serving the residents of Shelby County as I have for the last 40 years, and this time as the county supervisor. And I will yield back the balance of my time to Charlie.
Okay, so we have a set of questions we'll ask the candidates. We'll alternate who gets to answer the question first, but all 3 candidates will answer every question. And Debbie up front will help them with their timing. We'll give them 90 seconds to respond to each question. And she has some paddles that will keep them on time to let them know when they've run out of their 90 seconds. So, Mr. Charlie, you're up first. The question is, what do you feel are the primary issues facing Shelby County over the next 4 years?
Well, our first issue, of course, is the pipeline. We've written ordinances to move the pipeline away from obstacles in Shelby County, and the pipeline has filed objections to that, so we're in court over that. Of course, all always, there's the roads and the bridges in Shelby County are always a priority. And I guess another problem would be down the road to fill in positions. We're having a hard time getting help, and I know everybody's having that same problem. I guess that covers it.
Okay.
I think some of the issues that are facing Shelby County, I agree with Charlie, the pipeline obviously, and then most recently I was introduced to the windmills coming into Shelby County, which I'm adamantly against. Also, secondary roads are important, as we happen to have it today. My husband was driving on Linden Road and the side was created a pretty good depth, and he called the county engineer and they came out right away. I mean, secondary roads are very important for safety, getting to your farms. The resource officer, to continue to find the funding, to continue to have him in our school system, I think that is very important. Also, the conviction rating of 1% or 2%, I think that is also very important, especially for the safety, for the budget concerns of the Shelby County office, or the Shelby Sheriff's Office, I apologize. How are we funding that? How are we, it eats into the Sheriff's Office budget if they're not getting convicted, the meals, the medical expenses. Let's see what else. I think that's top issues for myself.
Okay. Okay.
Some of the things I would be concerned with, obviously the annual concerns with budget, taxes, road maintenance, personnel, and other ongoing expenses. With a $23 million budget, you have to make sure that everybody is working effectively and efficiently. The conviction rates, like you said, public safety is number one function of government, keeping our residents safe, whether that's through the Sheriff's Office or the newly formed EMS system that the county has undertaken. Both of those have received major changes in the last year, and it seems to be working very well, but I'm sure over the next year or two there will be some tweaks to those operations as they get settled in with those. Again, concerned about the conviction rates, we need to talk about solutions to that, whether it's money, whether it's working with the county attorney and to improve some of those things. Before some more discussion there. The pipeline, I've spent quite a bit of time visiting Steve Kinkle about that. The eminent domain, obviously very opposed to that. It's not really, it's kind of out of the hands of the Shelby County supervisors and other officials. That's more at the state level. So we just need to be sure that our local ordinances are honored and enforced, and make sure that our first responders receive the information, the training, and the equipment they need in case there's a disaster related to that pipeline. The last thing I would mention is communication. My career at the newspaper, I've been a champion for open records, and I believe that all communication should be open and transparent and honest, and I believe everybody should be welcome to be heard, whether that's at a supervisor's meeting. They meet the first and third Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. I would invite anybody to come in and ask a question or give a comment. When I was mayor of Harlan, I allowed anybody to come in and speak that wanted to be spoken or to be heard. Also, my phone's on anytime. If somebody has a question or a comment, all they have to do is give me a call.
Okay, Alexis, you'll start with this question. And the question is, what area of the county's government do you feel is the most effective and why? What area of the county's government do you feel is the most effective and why? Well, it would be everything from, again, public safety to roads and, to the different departments of the county. Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe with my having small children in school, public safety is definitely a high priority for me, and continuing our budget. Not with the, like I said, like I said, with the resource officer and the conviction reading and, I apologize, I lost my train, conviction reading, keeping our children safe, keeping our streets safe. I think someone mentioned, can we still leave our doors unlocked? Can we still leave our cars unlocked? And I think that's very important for our community to have safety, let our kids run and be safe. I think that is a priority. And I do also believe in our land rights. I do believe in our personal rights. And as American citizens, I do believe in that with either the domain, I apologize, taking our land or any of that. I guess those are the two that I focused on.
First of all, I think the Shelby County Sheriff's Office has done a marvelous job when Harlan asked to have them take over law enforcement within the city of Harlan. They put that together in very short order, and it seemed to go very seamlessly. So I think they've done a good job with that. They have some great leadership there, and obviously all the deputies have done a great job stepping up and filling those roles. The other one that I have personal knowledge of right now is the Shelby County Conference Board. Tony Buhn in that office. Compared to other counties in Iowa with the same number of taxable parcels that we have, Shelby County is, I believe, one of the lowest, I would say probably in the bottom 5 as far as the budget that he operates that office with. So I know that they're very efficient and do their work on a very extremely well-run budget. So I know about the conference board. Some of the others, without getting into the budget, I don't know what those exact budgets are and how many staff they have. That's something that would be learned if they become supervisors. So those are the two that I know about and have been impressed with so far.
So Charlie, yeah.
Well, actually, in my opinion, I don't think there's a single department that's more important than any other. It's all of us working together as one to keep Shelby County safe and running properly. And the Sheriff's Office does a good job. The Auditor's Office does a good job. Of course, our engineers always is under the gun. They're not doing this or that, but they're out there. Our assessor's office, we got a great assessor. He does a really good job. And as far as supervisors, it's our job to carry through what we're supposed to do. And that's my opinion. I would like to bring up the fact that Tuesday we passed a resolution against eminent domain, which will be sent off to the people in Des Moines, wherever they are.
All right, Mike, you'll be up next. And this is a question that was submitted by the public. The state continues to erode local control at the county level. What would you do to reverse that trend if elected?
I think about the only thing we can do as supervisors is keep in touch with our local legislators and let them know how we feel about that. I know in the cities it's called home rule, and in your city you can create ordinances that are more strict, not less strict than what state code is. And I'm not sure how the state and county operate, but I'm assuming it's somewhat the same way. But just keep it in the ear of our local legislators, all the way up to the governor. Let them know how we feel about it, and again, pass resolutions and send those on to our elected officials, and just make our opinions known.
Okay, Charlie?
Okay, I don't know if I can add much more on that. That's a pretty good answer. Yeah, we have the right as county supervisors to pass ordinances, and I don't think we can be told otherwise. but I'm sure our state will straighten us out on that. Home rule to me is like we should be communicating with our state government people if we run into a tight situation. But supervisors are hired to make proper decisions for our county, and I think we've done a good job at that so far. We have had to consult with Steve Holtz and our governor. We wrote a letter to our governor that we might not like eminent domain at all, and in my opinion is taking away the rights of our landowners just so they burn the pipeline through, and that's my opinion on that one. I guess that's it.
Alexis?
I also agree with Mike and Charlie, just keeping that open line of communication with our representatives, Stephen Holt, Jason Schultz, and up to the governor, and keeping the public informed. I know town halls are great to hear from what the residents are thinking and running up the chain of command and keep that transparency open.
Okay. Charlie, you're up. Well, it does.
I'm just kidding.
You're the incumbent, I gotta put some pressure on you. So this is another question from the public. The question is, how does the U.S. Constitution impact your decision-making when considering county issues?
Oh, wow. Well, being a former military person, the Constitution is always in my mind, and I swore to uphold the Constitution when I was in the Air Force. So when I make decisions, I always think of the Constitution, and I know there's some people in our government that don't think we need that Constitution, but I'm sorry. Our great leaders of the past wrote that baby, and I think we should follow it. So I don't know how else to explain that.
I believe in the Constitution. Obviously our founding fathers knew what they were doing. I believe in the First Amendment, whether you agree or you disagree, there's still freedom of speech. We have to protect our rights, even if you do not agree with your neighbor, your relative, they still have they still have the same rights that you do. And just because you don't agree with them does not make them wrong. And I believe that we have to uphold the Constitution when we make ordinances, when we make, through all of our decisions, and protecting the rights of the people is top priority.
Yeah, the Constitution's been under attack now for the last 4 years especially, but working at the newspaper office for 40 years again, free press I think is vital to keep information flowing from elected officials to the public, and not only free press but an honest press. So many outlets lean one way or the other too far, and you don't know what to believe if you watch both of those outlets at the same time. So free press related to that, free speech, again, everybody has a right to their opinions and a right to express those opinions, and we've got to learn to get along and agree to disagree sometimes and not be full of hate. Another one is under attack, it seems like recently a lot, is the right to bear arms. I'm a firm believer in concealed carry and the right to carry if you'd like to do that. I still believe, I don't mind having background checks related to that, but I don't think you should have to pay a fee to have a concealed carry permit. The last thing I'll mention is if I had a magic wand that I could wave today, every student in the county would say the Pledge of Allegiance before every class.
Okay, so let's get a little bit of positive things going on here. So, question is, what opportunities do you feel Shelby County can take advantage of over the next 4 years?
What opportunities? I mean, I know there's grants that we can take advantage of, apply for, that can better our community, like just like RJ Bielenberg, he is in the community, in the schools as a grant. I think that to look for more grants, I think educating and even educating the public officers, you know, we have our parks and recreation department that we have, I know we have 2 for parks and rec, we have a lot of land, we only have 2 officers to try to increase that and bring more people in through the camping, whether that be the camping. I think grants are definitely something that we could take advantage of.
Yeah, I agree. Grants are very important, and there's been some discussion about whether or not the county or the county and cities should band together and hire a grant writer to try and get some of those dollars headed to Shelby County. Related to that, interest rates are very low right now, and if there are projects that need to be done, it might be a good time to bond if that's what it's going to take. We hate to bond at high interest rates when right now they're fairly affordable. So kind of taking a look at those, maybe restructuring some of the bonds that they may have out already, calling those in and restructuring at a lower rate. I think our biggest opportunity is the people of Shelby County and the many small businesses that we have here in the county. It's almost impossible to recruit large business into the county, so I think growing our small businesses and the talented people we have running those already is paramount. In general, the quality of life in Shelby County is outstanding. I love living here. We have a great health system, we have a great education system, we have great parks. Housing is affordable. We could use more housing, but it's affordable compared to other places, bigger cities. If we could attract some of those folks to Shelby County, I think that's a great opportunity for us.
Well, I agree with grants too, and we have departments that do apply for a lot of grants, and our hospitals, it keeps improving all the time. I think down the road we'll be improving on our road departments, and I believe that the biggest thing that Shelby County's got is, like Mike said, the people that are doing business now keep growing, and that will keep Shelby County growing too, and I think that's what we need.
Okay, Mike, you'll get this one, bring it back to the other side of the fence. We have a lot of pressure on our budgets now. Our budgets are going to have further pressure on them over the next 4 years. If elected, what area of the county budget do you feel should be shielded from being reduced during the next 4 years? And if there is an area that you feel needs to be shielded, why?
First of all, I'm not sure any department should be shielded from budget cuts. If they're already operating at peak efficiency, then yes, they should be shielded from any further cuts. I think we take a look at all of them. 2 of them that would, again, bubble to the top for me is public safety. That is the Sheriff's Department and EMS. And again, they have both undergone drastic changes in the last year. So I think keeping an eye on those budgets making sure they're adequate, making sure they're not bloated, making sure they have the equipment and manpower that they need to operate effectively and efficiently is important. So I would say that public safety would be two of my primary concerns when budget cuts arise.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also agree that there's no department that should be shielded against budget cuts. I don't care which one it is. But you always need safety, so you need that money for our officers. And also, our county roads department is very important in Shelby County. Although, if we have to, we would cut their budget. And it don't make any difference. If we need to cut, we need to cut. 4 years ago, we asked all departments to cut 10% out of their budget, and they did that over a period of 3 years. And we're down to pretty much the bare bones in all departments. So there's not much to cut out of there. And it'd come down to raises or people would have to go. So that's probably the dark side of that.
I also agree that public safety would, if needed, be shielded. And I also agree with the roads, but I also believe there's ways that, we can look at the budget maybe and maneuver things around versus, having to cut the budget. I would hope, just like Charlie had said, that they had already pretty bare bones already, but definitely the sheriff's office and the EMS. I mean, if you want a thriving community, you need public safety and a hospital to take your residents to, and I think those are two areas.
Okay. Next question. What unique skills will you bring to the Board of Supervisors if elected? Yeah, we'll start with you.
I have experience working in the assessor's office and in the trustee's office with the budget, and I was also in the military. And I understand, I apologize. I have experience working in the assessor's office that equipped me with a deep understanding of local government and operation and the importance of fair and accurate property assessments. Additionally, my time spent aiding the management of the budgets with the trustee's office has honed my financial management skills and fiscal responsibilities. Moreover, my success in leading the deployment program with the increased efficiency it demonstrates my ability to effectively plan, execute, and achieve results. The experience has taught me the value of collaboration, problem-solving skills, and perseverance in driving change. I believe my critical thinking skills and work ethic and dedication to public service qualifies me to address the challenges facing our county and to advocate for the policies that benefit our residents. I am committed to fostering transparency and accountability and community engagement in local government to ensure that our county thrives and prospers.
I'll sum my reasons for why I think I'm the best candidate up into 3 areas, and that's experience, time, and energy. Over the last 4 years, I've had the chance to work with dozens of organizations in Shelby County. I'm going to list just a few of those for you. These are the ones that I'm currently involved with. I'm on the Iowa State Extension Council. I'm a member of the SWIPCO Small Business Revolving Loan Committee, and I'm past chairman of the SWIPCO organization. Friends of Prairie Rouge State Park. I'm a member of the Shelby County Trails Committee since its inception about 10 years ago. I'm on Harlan's Dream Playground Committee. I'm on 2 newspaper organizations, Midwest Free Community Papers. I'm the current president of that organization, and I'm on the foundation board of the Iowa Newspaper Association. Others I've had the chance to work with, mostly as mayor and council for Harlan over the 8 years, was the Shelby County Emergency Management Agency, the Shelby County Ambulance Commission, and the Shelby County Conference Board. And it's through experiences with all of those organizations that I've learned to be patient sometimes. I understand the importance of working together for the good of the whole. But I also understand that sometimes you have to dig in your heels when you don't agree with something. The time, Tammy and I are empty nesters. I thoroughly enjoyed the time with my kids, coaching baseball and soccer with those. When they were grown and out of high school, then that's when I decided to run for public office. And I was able to devote my full attention to being the best councilman and mayor I could be, and I would bring that same effort as supervisor. And if you like it, I will set my retirement plans into motion and step away from the newspaper office. So I'm still working full-time, and I will bring that same energy to the supervisor's position. The energy, again, I'm working full-time, I have that same energy, I'm not ready to slow down, I'm just ready to shift past a little bit after 40 years. So those are the experience, the time, and the energy, I think, are the three things that I would bring to this office.
Well, other than having 12 years experience already, I've always been in a leadership role from the time I was in high school, being captain of the football team, to sergeant in the Air Force, supervisor at the Oakland plant, and one other thing, I worked in the courthouse. I understand every department, I know what they do. Not everything, I don't know everything, but I know their general responsibilities. I know a lot of their problems that they go through. So that has helped me be a supervisor, and hopefully a good one. I guess that's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Mike, we'll start with you on this question. What do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in the county?
Well, I know the county's been working hard to improve bridges and replace bridges throughout the county. Shelby County has, I don't know what the number is, 800 bridges, 300 bridges. Charlie, you probably know that number. But
Plus 400 and some.
it's hundreds of bridges. It's hard to imagine, but and I'm guessing 90% of them are old. A lot of them have weight limits. There might need to be some decisions made, which ones to keep open, which ones to improve, and which ones to replace. So I think as an infrastructure question, probably the bridges and the secondary roads. There's a lot of truck traffic on those. Obviously, the weather with the rain, freeze, thaw, those roads just get put through the ringer every year. I don't know if there's, other than that, the equipment, I guess, for each department, I don't know if that's called infrastructure, but you just have to, computers for the elections and CAD systems and things like that. You got to keep up on those. You can't let those get out of date or you just run into trouble.
And Mike's right about the roads and bridges. That would be a priority. Also, I think down the road, I think the jail's getting small, so we might have to do something with the jail down the road. And the computer system is always important. We spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff. Hopefully down the road, they'll all be wireless and we won't have to worry about it. That's my opinion.
Obviously, the roads and bridges are definitely a priority for farmers, for the residents. I know my husband and I have a lot of rental buildings downtown, and we've been fixing them up, and we have sold some of them, and I mean, it brings businesses in. I mean, there were buildings that they were not people could not fix them up and then put the business, and we were able to do that. I mean, my husband did it himself, and we applied for a lot of grants for that, so I know that's to help revive the downtown and bring businesses down, which helps the money coming in. You know, people want to come to Harlan. We have the Friends of Downtown that they put on a lot of things, and now a lot of the businesses are getting together. And I know that our new business, one of the new businesses has partnered with old businesses to help, you know, bring people in. And I think that's a great the more businesses that come, the more the community is thriving, and more people. I think Mike had touched on that earlier. And so I think those are two areas.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our hour. So we're going to let each candidate have 3 minutes to make their closing remarks, and then we'll wrap up for the evening. We'll start with Charlie.
Well, one of my best resources is I listen. And I'm not afraid to listen. And I'm not afraid to form my own opinion. And the thing is, we don't do screaming and hollering in front of the camera. So if we have a problem, we work it out before we get in front of the camera. I like helping people, and a lot of the boards that I'm on covers Southwest Iowa throughout this region, and I do enjoy that. And the calls in the middle of the night, that's the way it goes. That's part of the job. And somebody screaming in your ear because their road didn't get graded, or they're stuck out there in the snowdrift, that's part of the job too. And if these guys get elected, they're gonna get to enjoy that.
I think when I started looking into all that entails to the Board of Supervisors, I believe it is a full-time job. I believe it is, you have to dedicate a lot of your time, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to dedicate my time and do what is required, to learn what is required. I do believe in researching. I do believe in finding different opinions, critical thinking. I think that Shelby County is such a great community, and we've had a great Board of Supervisors, and we want to continue that, to make this a great place to raise your grandchildren, raise your children. And I do look forward to, I believe it's a public service office, and sometimes it, just like Charlie said, it's not, you don't always get the phone calls that are like, hey, you're doing a great job today, and no news is good news, I guess. And I think that that's something that we have to, I understand by taking this on, that I understand that it's not going to be, you're not going to always hear, great job. I understand that it's public service, and I've done that in the military, and I do look forward to seeing this community thriving for Shelby County.
First, I'd like to publicly thank Steve Kenkel for his 12 years of service on the Board of Supervisors. He provided great leadership and always had the county's best interest at heart, so thanks to Steve for that. I'd also like to thank Charlie and Alexis for going through this process. It's not easy to get up here and do this, so thanks for throwing your hat in the ring, and we'll see what happens. I'd also like to take a moment to keep our thoughts and prayers with those impacted by the April 26th tornado. And I'd like to encourage everybody to attend the town hall meeting Tuesday, May 28th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Betts Auditorium. There will be many local, state, and federal organizations there to help with paperwork, and also just to let the rest of us who were not directly impacted to find out how we can help in the future. In closing, I'm not doing this for the money. I just want to continue serving the people of Shelby County to make it a great place to live, work, and play. And as I mentioned, I'll bring my experience, time, and energy to the office. I will not bring any vindictive motives or agendas to the office. I will promise to serve with honesty and integrity. And it would be an honor to serve as your supervisor, joining Bryce Shaven on the board to help lead Shelby County during the next 4 years. So I hope my commitment to public service and years of experience will earn your vote June 4th. Thank you.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up this candidate forum. Let's give a round of applause for these senior candidates. Thank you for coming out. As Mike mentioned, please, if you can, come to Vets on Tuesday night, because it's not only a informational evening for those who have been impacted, it's also a celebration of all of those who donated their time and their efforts to help clean up the mess. So the cattlemen will be there with burgers. You can't get a better burger than one cooked by a Shelby County cattleman, so come on by. With that, we'll wrap it up for the evening. Thank you.